Philip DeFranco. Drama alert. Pill News. The Wall Street Journal. Vox. The New York Times. You may have heard of some of these news sources. Credible or not, their reach is vast and their voice is heard. But all of this news, nay, all of the news in the world does not compare to this gold mine. The beautiful piece of art, the fairest, the most trustworthy, the most respectable source that not just Australia, but the world has ever seen. A current affair. No more, it's Joinen. Now, I don't exaggerate when I say that Australia has the definitive worst news source ever. A current affair is like the magazine of news programs. It's probably got some content, but most of it has paid to be there, and it's pretty much one big advertisement. It's got a little bit of social justice thrown in there to make people think it exists for some higher purpose, not to just make money. But let's sit back and enjoy the latest episode of A Current Affair together, and you'll see what I mean.
Hello, I'm Tracy Grimshaw. Welcome to A Current Affair.
What is up? This is my home girl. Before we go any further, it is imperative that you understand that Tracy Grimshaw is a current affair.
Tonight, fined for parking out the front of their own houses. Plus, our Marie Kondo challenge, how 3 families transform their homes with her golden rules. Those stories coming up.
If you couldn't tell by that coming up segment, this is gonna be a blast. Now, A Current Affair always follows the same formula. They break up their episode into 3 major segments that I like to dub the gritty, the dramatic, and the ridiculous. We got a little hint there at the last 2, but I imagine we're gonna get straight into the gritty first up.
Sean Corley has been called a creep and a sleaze by some female customers and staff.
He treats women like they're a piece of meat.
How many of your customers have you tried to hit on? Do you know people call you Creepy Crawly?
My advice is to find someone that you feel comfortable with.
This is the public image that Sean Corley tries to convey.
So you can see here one of A Current Affair's favourite tactics for filling up their episode without actually having any content. And we call this the run and shun. Pick your creep, pick your tax evader, pick your annoying neighbour. A Current Affair will get their TV crew and they will chase them down, make sure they know they're a terrible person. They probably won't get any actual response. They know this, but they just need some actual footage to fill up their segment.
But there's another side to Sean Corley. It's led to the nickname Creepy Crawly.
He was creepy. He would just constantly be harassing.
She was asked if she wanted a loan, and then Sean Corley stepped in.
It was hundreds of texts in the first week. It was like a barrage of texts just constantly coming through.
People will start talking about our constant texts. Not that I'm complaining. Wink.
Kirsty says she misread the texts and replied in a hurry saying, "I'm always in trouble, it's just the depth that varies."
Trouble means enjoyment, which I'm up for if the desire is there. Wink.
Wink. I want to make this very clear. The subjects that A Current Affair is talking about can be very serious, and I'm not on Creepy Crawly's side.
But they were now in a tricky financial situation. They really needed that loan approved. But before that could happen, Sean Corley said he needed Kirsty to pick up an important form from his office.
No.
When she arrived, the receptionist told her, "Sean's still waiting for you."
He shut the door. He sat on the corner of his desk. He had his hands in his pockets and seemed to be a bit aroused. And at that stage, I ran out.
I'm still keen to know what you thought of my offer, read kisses. Or is that venturing back into inappropriate territory?
Yes! It is inappropriate territory. You don't need to ask that, surely.
He knew your address, your date of birth. They know everything about you.
She eventually visited a different branch and reported Sean Corley's behaviour. She was then contacted by head office, who told her she wasn't the first female to come forward, but the first one to stand up to him.
This is the gritty segment of the episode. Really, this is the one they advertise in all the ads to make you watch it that night. This is the actual story. And often they can be not too bad. And in this situation, I think they're actually doing something positive.
She says the married father of 2 continued touching her inappropriately at work whenever she was there on her own.
Because I didn't want to lose my job. I was fearing losing my job.
It's a far cry from some of his Facebook posts promoting equality on International Women's Day.
I hope that.
Hi, Sean. Dan Nolan from A Current Affair. How you going? How many of your customers have you tried to hit on?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, sorry.
Well, we know there was some at the previous bank you worked at. Do you want to elaborate on any of those?
No, sorry.
Well, there we go. We spend a lot of time investigating creeps on the internet, checking out their posts and text messages. As it seems, they still exist in real life as well. And unfortunately, in real life, they can have real life consequences. When you're trying to get a bank loan, you're not wanting this kind of stuff to get involved. And in that case, it's not just as easy as blocking the person. So I think in the gritty portion of this episode, A Current Affair gets a pass. I'm on board with exposing this kind of behavior and creating discussion, making sure that the shadows for these people to hide in are getting smaller and smaller. So far, this hasn't been a good example of the terrible content A Current Affair can make, but this is how they get you. They start off with a good, strong segment. Usually.
An almost $300 fine for parking outside your own home seems a bit steep, but if these families parked legally, the road would be blocked. They called us for help.
Moving on to the dramatic segment of the episode.
We won't pay! We won't pay!
We saw a police car, my husband and I, commented, I wonder what he's looking for, and got a nice fine in the mail.
Those two black cars are parked illegally. This car's parked illegally.
I think all of this is very, very un-Australian.
It's true. Fines. Un-Australian. Un-Australian is the greatest response to anything. Or if you're American, un-American. It doesn't matter, pick your country, and if something wrong happens to you, just say it's your country, and the person on the receiving end will feel very unpatriotic for the actions they have done. Now, when I say that this segment is the dramatic, I'm not saying that the people in it are being dramatic. I'm saying that the topic revolves around some sort of drama. It's not as gritty as the first one, as you can already tell. It's just a little bit of local drama. And in this instance, it's parking fines. Now, I don't want to get everyone too hyped here, but there is nothing more exciting than parking fines.
These residents and so many others have each been fined $263 for parking on the nature strip. Where else are they meant to park their cars? Are you guys angry?
Now, I'm not saying this isn't a problem. I've experienced this problem before. Trying to get to uni, I gotta park at the train station, but there aren't enough car parks, so you park on the side of the road. You get a fine from the same council that is responsible for putting in car parks. I'm just trying to get to uni. What do you expect me to do? And A Current Affair will often stand up as a voice for the people on national television to hopefully right some wrongs. And maybe sometimes something comes of it, but I think usually it just ends up as content for the episode. The problem isn't that A Current Affair is bringing light to local community issues. It's that people get addicted to watching this show every single night, and it's almost purely designed to get people riled up about situations that are happening on the other side of the country. People get addicted to that feeling of annoyance and anger and just want to watch the next episode because A Current Affair knows that these stories create emotion in the audience, and the viewers can't get enough of it. They get you with the big gritty story. They transition into the local community drama story. Then they hit you with what can probably only be described as an advertisement.
Teenagers aren't known for their love of tidying up, except Marie Kondo. The 19-year-old declutter guru has millions of fans dedicated to her KonMari method. Does it really work?
Hello, I'm Marie Kondo.
All my friends are trying it. I really want to give it a try.
Organisation mastermind Marie Kondo has taken the world by storm. Tonight, we're putting the Marie Kondo method to the ultimate test.
Ah, are you? At this stage, you're sucked into the drama of the episode and you just want to keep watching. You almost don't realise that this kind of started off as a news show and just has transitioned into... what?
I'm too embarrassed to have friends over because it's just, it's untidy.
They say their mess is because they're time poor. We're visiting each family home to help cut through the clutter and the excuses.
You don't need to be a great hoarder to benefit from Marie Kondo's advice. The Netflix star says her simple tips can help any home. We gave it a go.
Now, I don't know what the laws are here. I've always assumed that you need to state whether it's an ad or not. Maybe it's not, but it really seems like it is. How many times are they going to mention the hit new Netflix show?
First stop, Brisbane.
The dining room we've never dined in.
Never dined in?
Never.
Why are these clothes not in a cupboard?
We just don't get the time to put them away, so it's just we dump them and then in the morning the kids go through them.
But the biggest job is in Sydney.
This is my very messy, cluttered bedroom.
So what would Marie Kondo do?
The first thing she did after saying hello was greet the house. Let's thank the home.
Let's get down to business.
They don't even have Marie Kondo with them. They've just watched her Netflix show and been all inspired that they could do it for other people too. And it seems that they didn't skip the most important step in the KonMari method.
Cool. First, let's begin with making a big pile of all the clothes that you own.
You know, I can get past Marie Kondo greeting the house. She's the expert. Maybe it's necessary, but this person's not even her. She's just seen it on Netflix, and she's just decided that it must be a necessary step of the process. You just wonder. The people whose house they're coming into, they're like telling their friends, oh hey, I've got current affair coming around to my house. Absolute suckers. They're pretty much gonna clean the whole place for me for free. All right, get on your knees. We are greeting the house. As long as you still clean my house afterwards.
Now let's cull this.
Yes.
And the best way to do that, Marie Kondo says, is to pick something up and decide whether it sparks you joy or not. If it doesn't spark joy, it goes in the bin.
This technique could be very dangerous. Oh, what's all these papers? Bills? Oh, well, that's not very joyful. What is this thing? A crying baby?
The cleanup in Sydney is simply too big for Waffair to handle on her own. So we've sent her to work for the day, and I've called in our producer for an extra set of hands.
Now, how would you normally fold a t-shirt?
I just put the sleeves in and I just fold it in half, really.
Well, that's wrong.
You absolute idiot. They really set her up for that one. Show me, dear. How do you fold a t-shirt? I just kind of fold it? You're wrong! Did you not watch the Netflix show? Clearly you haven't, because any information that these people coming to clean your house have over you is the fact that they just watched the show.
I'm not gonna lie, taking everything out, putting it on the bed, I did find some funny things.
Oh gosh.
Like a pregnancy test.
I know.
Which I'm not gonna touch. You take that side and I will take that side. Now I'm finding a few odd things in the pantry, but the strangest has to be the fake tan.
Marie and I have taught Tegan, Mel and Aaron everything they need to know. Now the rest is up to them.
A current affair. Surely you realize, you absolute suckers have watched a Netflix show on how to clean up a house. You've gone to someone's house and cleaned it up for them. The people whose house you cleaned didn't even take the time to watch the show themselves. I guarantee you have not fixed their lives. You have not fixed their house.
We'll see the finished products in a moment. Our families and even our producer and I have been hard at work decluttering, all while following the KonMari method. It's finally time for the results.
There's room!
Yeah. Almost echoes. So empty.
Please tell me you've been having dinner at the dinner table.
We have. It's nice. It's lovely.
Yeah. It's pretty freaking good. We just used to sort of stand and just cradle the plate with one hand, but thanks to you lot, we'll be able to sit down for the next couple of weeks.
Looks like a totally different bedroom.
It's beautiful now, isn't it?
Yeah, nice and fresh.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
It's almost a little bit sad. I mean, like genuinely sad that the kid walks into a clean home, puts her hand on her mouth in shock of the fact that her house is tidy. They're just playing some boppy music in the background like this is great, and they've fixed all of the core issues that these people have when it comes to prioritizing cleaning their house.
We can reach for stuff now and it's easier to put it all back in its spot. We're not just going to toss it away because it's got its spot.
And would you look at the Tupperware cupboard?
High five.
No. No. Everything else, fine. It's great to have spots for your t-shirt. It's fine to have spots for all the toys for the kids. Maybe it's all right to organize your pantry so that everything has a place to go. But a Tupperware cupboard, if you expect that Tupperware cupboard to stay organized, you are kidding no one but yourself. Nobody in the world, except maybe my own mum, can keep a Tupperware cupboard organized. That's like putting headphones in your pocket and expecting them not to get tangled.
But the biggest transformation is in Sydney. Remember, this job was too big for working mum Waffair to handle on her own, so we did the hard yards for her.
But that's the real problem, isn't it? You've done a nice thing. You've cleaned someone's house, but the unfortunate reality is that it's just probably not going to stay clean.
Wow.
What do you think?
Thanks. Really?
Aww.
This is life-changing.
Alright. So, I hope you can see where I'm coming from here. This was not the best example of how bad a current affair can be. It can often be absolute garbage, but maybe you can just start to see the tip of the iceberg here, that a current affair purely exists to create content. That last segment was literally them just cleaning some people's houses and plugging a Netflix show. I guarantee you it gets a lot worse than this. So if you want to see this again, like the video and let me know, and we can revisit a current affair another time. Remember to get your wholesome merch in the description below. It says wholesome on it. It's a really great way to support the channel if you didn't already know that. Another really great way to support the channel is by retweeting this video over on Twitter, like this person did, Shy. So thank you. Thank you so much to all of you who watch all of my videos. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching my video, but now that it's done, please watch another one.